We have become herd animals. We have become sheep. We have become lemmings. We have become those who are willing to follow some Pied Piper of glamour and success over the cliff of oblivion. So that's as long as we think that's where the people are going. The beauty of our American way of life is that we understand that government of, by, and for the people cannot succeed unless every individual has the faith, has the heart, has the courage to stand for what is right on their own.
On their own.
How can anybody be willing to stand in the face of the brickbats of ridicule, to stand against those who tell you, we've got the people and we've got the power and you've got nothing, you are nothing? See? How do we do that? Do you know how we do it? We do it by remembering what the people who founded this country, remember, we revere George Washington. We think of him as this great man, this great figure. He had a ragtag bunch of folks, couldn't even have shoes on their feet, facing the most well-armed, well-equipped army in the world. If you were going with the odds, you wouldn't have gone with Washington and the Patriots. They were standing there in a world that ridiculed their chances, that didn't think they had a chance of victory. But at the end of the day, they did not waver. They stood through the harshest winter. They stood through all the defeats. And you know why that was? Do you know why they had the courage to stand? Because they did not have so much pride that they would not go down on their knees before their almighty creator God. We are watching as a pattern develops. And I suppose there are those ridiculing pundits in the media who will say, Alan, you're a conspiracy theorist, aren't you? Well, I don't know. I would say that whatever it is I'm doing and the thought I'm about to share
used to be the media were the conspiracy theorists.
It's got a good pedigree of which we were reminded today because it comes right from the Declaration of Independence, where the folks who wrote it told us that if the actions of a government show forth events a design upon the liberties of the people. If that design is clear, then it is their right, it is their duty to alter or abolish that form of government. Now, let's see. Wait. Now, what is a design? What is a design? Well, a design is a pattern made up of all kinds of different evidence, like a tapestry composed of many threads, or painting different colors and different, and all those things are put together in a way that when it all comes together, it makes sense. It has a point. It conveys something to you, right? That's a design. A design, y'all, is what would be called today conspiracy thinking. So if we're going to take the Declaration seriously, we don't only look at individual acts and issues and say, how does this affect me? What are they going to do for me? What does that do to me?
That's right.
We are looking for the design. We are asking, how does it come together to affect our people, to affect our liberty, to affect our Constitution, to affect our faith, to affect our freedom? That's what we're asking. To a certain extent, the immediate crisis brought us here today appears to be about money. It appears to be about taxing us to death. It appears to be about borrowing until this country is so indebted that our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren will never be free from the burden of that debt. It seems to be all about the malfeasance of those who handled money and went greedily after. But let me think about this, though. We just said that. Greedy bankers. Politicians who sacrifice the common good for the sake of their ambition. Individuals who are willing to pursue their hopes and dreams by putting a false promise on paper that they know they can't meet just because somebody said, here, I'll make it easy for you to make this false promise. It appears that we had some irresponsible individuals, we had some overweening politicians who didn't have any sense of character in their pursuit of ambition, and we had greedy bankers willing to pursue short-term profit at the expense of not only our nation, but it appears the entire world. Now tell me, when you are saying that somebody is greedy, when you say that somebody has a ruthless ambition that sacrifices everything for its own sake. When you say that somebody is acting irresponsibly and without regard for the integrity of their promises, have you made a money?
Is that everybody but yourself?
No, y'all. Last time I looked, all of that involved moral failings, didn't it? It turns out that we don't have money problems. That all of the crisis and all of the debt and all of the difficulty that they now say threatens us so much, we gotta turn our freedom and our Constitution upside down and hand off our future to the government and to the party dictators who are now trying to tell us it's the only way to handle it. All of that was rooted in the collapse of our moral character and our moral integrity. Some of you know I have made that same point for these 15 and 20 years. And every time I tried to raise it, every time I brought it up, they said, you're just trying to evade the issue. And it turns out that that is the issue. It's the most important issue. It may be the only issue that if we address it.
You're just trying to evade the issue, huh?
Because just as that money crisis is brought on by moral failings, so it turns out that that last line in the anthem calls us to a moral virtue, because that's what courage is.